What is going on, everyone? My name is Vincent. I'm back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be trying to get this thing to start. In my previous video I got the engine, the transmission, and the exhaust in the car, and if you haven't seen that yet, go check out my previous video. I've basically finished most of the heavy mechanical work under the car, and the rest I have to do is figure out all of the electrical connections and the vacuum connections in the engine bay, as well as get my power steering pump back on, my radiator back on, and my air intake. I'm going to start off with the power steering pump first. The power steering pump slides into a little bracket right here, and then it goes past the pulley and through the bracket, and if it gets stuck then you'll have to wiggle the power steering pump around just to get it through. I'm not going to tighten this all the way yet so I can pivot this back and forth. And then now we're going to take the shorter 14mm bolt, and that goes on top of the bracket right here. So I'm just going to keep that finger tight for now. So all the power steering pump bolts are now in and hand tightened. I went ahead and put in the power steering reservoir. There's a 10mm bolt here and one in the back that has a bracket connecting to this wire that plugs in right over here. I already connected this line that goes onto the power steering pump, and over here is a circuit of the fill and return line that I made so that when the car was taken apart, if I steered it, then power steering fluid wouldn't leak out everywhere. So now I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, and this one over here goes onto the top right here, and the bottom line goes onto the reservoir. So I took it apart and I got this line on the top and this line on the bottom of the reservoir like I just said. I've also got the accessory belt back on. I'll show you guys how to loosen it up first in case you guys ever want to change it yourselves, and then I'll show you how to tighten this back up. So I've tightened the belt back up, and I'll show you guys how to take it off right now. First, you'll have to crank the engine until you get access to a 14mm bolt behind here. Then you want to break that bolt loose. Then we're going to head to the 14mm bolt right here and break that one loose as well. And now that you've got the bottom and the top bracket bolts loose, you could go ahead and loosen the tensioner right here. This is the 12mm. Once you've loosened the tensioner enough, this belt should be loose enough that you can pull it right out. And to tighten this back up, you just do the exact opposite. Tighten the tensioner, and then tighten this bracket right here. Then go ahead to the bottom and tighten that one up too. So I've got the belt back on and the power steering system is almost complete. I just have one more thing to do, and that is plug this right on top like that. There we go. So that's connected now, and I basically connected 90% of the electrical connections that I saw on this side as well as up here. I finished getting all the hoses on and tightened down. I also got the radiator in, and I've connected the thermostat hose and the lower hose. There's one 12mm bolt over here and one on the other side, and on each side at the bottom it has two little carriers that are shaped like this that the radiator drops right into. And now I'm gonna get the airbox in, fill it with fluids, and we'll see if it starts. I've got the airbox in now, and there's one 12mm bolt over here, one 12mm nut over here, and another 12mm bolt over there. After you've got that tightened down, you want to go ahead and plug in your mass airflow sensor right there. So after you've got the airbox installed, then there's also a snorkel over here that connects down to the back of the airbox, and there is also a bracket right there that it connects to right there. And to get this last piece of the intake in, there's one bracket here, another bracket over here, a vacuum line here, and a vacuum line over here too. Okay, now that the intake is on, I went ahead and filled it with some oil and got some coolant into the cooling system. Okay, so let's see if this thing actually starts. Alright, so I've been at it for a while now and it doesn't seem to want to start. So I'm gonna look into things a little bit, but it's late right now, so I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Alright, it's the next day now, and let me show you guys what I found last night. So I actually took a closer look at things, and it turns out I reversed my fuel lines. I made the typical rookie mistake when installing a Miata engine, and what I did was the front line over here was actually connected to this one, and this line was connected to that one. It's supposed to be the way it is right now, where the front goes to the rear and the rear goes to the front. Alright, I've got the fuel lines correctly set up now. Let's see if this thing starts. Come on. If the key would work. Yes, let's go! Clutch is working. Woo! Oh my god, guys, so as you guys just saw, this thing started up and ran. I'm so happy right now because I didn't think it was gonna work. So I ended up taking the car off of the jack stand and taking it for a short drive, making sure to drive it softly and keep my RPMs low because one, I have a new clutch. And whenever you get a new clutch, there's a break-in period you gotta follow. And the break-in period usually makes you drive the car softly for the first 500 to 1,000 miles that you have the clutch in the car. And two, this car hasn't been put together for a really long time. It's been sitting most of the time. So since everything is back together now, I want to just take it easy to make sure everything's running well. And actually while I was driving it started idling weird, and then I got a check engine light. I found that a little weird because I let it idle for like 10 to 15 minutes just sitting in the garage. And then once I took it out for a drive, a couple times around the block, and then a check engine light went up. And this is a 1994 Miata, so it does not have OBD2 yet, it has OBD1. Since this is OBD1, you can't just plug a scanner into the car and pull the codes. You have to do it a certain way on this car. But all I really wanted to do for this video was get this thing started and running. So in my next video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to diagnose engine codes on an OBD1 Miata. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.